Hello and welcome to the Bible is BS by Penn and Teller, Part 8. Peace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with you guys. Let us continue on. We're in the last one we were talking about the fall of civilizations that are disobedient to their parents, and that the family structure is very important, and this is what the Bible in the Old Testament was showing us, and why keeping it is very important. And a major problem in the West, why we are now falling, is because of that. It's because of our loose faith, our stepping away from God, and into a more immoral society, a secular society where there are no real truths and there are no real convictions for things that are good versus things that are wicked, filthy, and evil. Let's continue on and do the good work of the Lord.
Yeah, it's not fair. You want to pick and choose? We can go further. Let's play along with Dr. Meyer and use the Bible to impeach the Bible. Check these out. No out of context bullshit. This is what it says. Exodus 21 verse 7 says it's okay to sell your daughter into slavery. Not even in November.
Okay, first of all, the slavery in the Bible is very, very different from the slavery, perhaps, how Islam teaches, the slavery as it was in the United States, and the slavery that was around the people in Israel. First off, the Bible teaches you're not even allowed to speak to a slave wrong. You're to treat them as if they themselves were God. Secondly, you need to understand that this was in a time when the people were very poor, and that the nations around them allowed slavery, and they were very destructive. And that the families were poor, and so when you allow that with certain conditions, it helps boost the family up and helps make them better. The Bible has very strict limitations on how to act with your slaves. For example, on the 6th year is the last year you can have a slave. On the 7th, they are to go free. For 6 days they should work, and on the 7th they have to rest. You must protect them. You must treat them with honor and dignity. So it's more of servants rather than slaves. So you are in fact taking them out of context. And all the things I'm speaking about here, I will post on the side as links so you can go and read them yourselves. So slavery, when they say slavery in the Bible, it's not as it is. And it's for people who are extremely poor, and this is their last resort. But she would be free in 7 years. And in fact, back then, in old times, this is what they would do for a daughter. It would almost be like a contract. You marry, I'll give you your son, my daughter, for a certain amount of land or whatever it was. Family contracts. It's a shame that it was this way, but this is how it was. We see things changing, though. The Bible is always extremely of higher moral than the societies around them, because it's from God. And God does start abrogating the slavery in the New Testament. And we see that not to do that, to set them free. We see to treat them as if they were Jesus Christ themselves.
Exodus 35 verse 2 clearly states that anyone working on the Sabbath should be put to death.
Now you have to understand that this passage in Exodus was for a group of people. This is the law that God gave them for the rest, to not overwork them. And that a disobedience to God, this is an offense against God to do this, not against anybody. And so, think about it as if I was lending you my car. and you're driving around in my car and you're starting to drink and drive and abuse it. Even though I gave it to you, I have the right now to take it back because you're abusing it and you're endangering the lives of those around you. And so, because of that, it's my moral obligation to take it from you. And this is what God, He is saying here. And that, do you understand? You're going to try and use that against slavery. Well, perhaps God didn't. Perhaps say He wouldn't make the law about putting them to death for working on the Sabbath. Well, then these slave owners would try and find a loophole and have them work 7 days and overwork them for their life. So, in fact, this makes what you're saying wrong, and now makes what God is saying better. And that's, we're out of time. Stay tuned for the next video.